Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox. I would like to welcome you to the Sunday Book Review. The Sunday Book Review is the series where I discuss books which impact the compliance practitioner, the legal professional, and the business professional. I hope you will enjoy this episode. The Sunday Book Review for May 23, 2021, the nonfiction edition. Over the next few Sundays, I'm going to be going over books that you might want to read for this summer. And we begin with The Engagement, America's Quarter-Century Struggle Over Same-Sex Marriage by Sasha Eisenberg. This book is the riveting story of the conflict over same-sex marriage in the United States, the most significant civil rights breakthrough of the new millennium. On June 26, 2015, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that state bans on gay marriages were unconstitutional, making same-sex unions legal across the United States. The road to that momentous decision was much longer than many know. In this definitive account, the author vividly guides us through the same-sex marriage's unexpected path to this unimaginable to the inevitable. This richly detailed narrative follows the coast-to-coast conflict through the courtrooms and war rooms, bedrooms, and boardrooms to shed light on every aspect and legal controversy that divided Americans like no other. Next up, The Plague Year by Lawrence Wright. From the fateful first outbreaks of the COVID-19 pandemic in China to the storming of the U.S. Capitol to the extraordinary vaccine rollout, this book is an authoritative, galvanizing detail full of drama and events for both a global and intimate scale. Wright takes us inside the CDC, where a first round of faulty test kits lost America precious time, inside the halls of the White House, where the Deputy National Security Advisor's early alarm about the virus was met by skepticism. In this full accounting, the author makes clear that the medical professionals around the country who risk their lives to fight this disease reveal and embody America in all its courage, vulnerability, and potential. It turns steely-eyed, sympathetic, infuriating, unexpectedly comical, and always precise. Lawrence Wright provides a formidable guide slicing through the dense fog of misinformation to give us a 360-degree portrait of the catastrophe. Next up, All That She Carried, The Journey of Ashley Sack, a black woman keeps a black family keepsake. A renowned historian traces the life of a single object down through 3 generations of black women to craft an extraordinary testament to those who were left out of the archives. In 1850 South Carolina, the enslaved woman named Rose faced a crisis, the sale of her daughter. Thinking quickly, she packed a cotton bag with a few items and tried to ensure Ashley's survival. Soon after, the 9-year-old was separated from her mother and sold. All That She Carries is a poignant story of resilience and love passed down through the generations of women against steep odds. It honors the creativity and fierce resourcefulness of people who preserve family ties even when an official system refused to do so, and it serves as a visionary illustration of how to recount and reconstruct their lives. And finally, as a Texan, I can't wait for this one to come out. Forget the Alamo, The Rise and Fall of an American Myth by authors Brian Burrough, Chris Tomlinson, and Jason Stafford. Anyone who reads the Daily Compliance News or my blog has heard me talk about Chris Tomlinson. He's the business columnist for the Houston Chronicle. These 3 authors combined to tell the real story of the Alamo, dispelling myths and exploring why their day had to wait so long and explaining why the ugly fight about its meaning comes to a head. As in all history, the victors write the story, and that's what happened around the Alamo. And these 3 authors work to dispel many of the myths that have propagated and indeed founded the state of Texas. We have several new podcasts on the Compliance Podcast Network I would urge you to check out. Low Forecast, the podcast from the Morrison Forrester Law Firm, hosted by James Kukios. We have Coffee and Regs by CSS, which takes a look at RegTech. I recently premiered Survive and Thrive, a podcast I co-host with Courtney Nordrum. In this podcast series, we take a look at compliance disasters from history and the lessons learned from them, and more importantly, how you can avoid and prevent them going forward. It's a lot of fun, and Courtney's a great co-host, so check it out. Comtech, a podcast on the intersection of compliance and technology, big brains in compliance. And finally, we have the Compliance Handbook, where I take a deep dive exploration into topics related to the nuts and bolts of compliance. Thanks so much for listening.